Okay, in this exercise, I'm going to show you how to solve for two variables. And in order to solve for two variables, you're going to have two equations. So let's start with this. 2x plus y is equal to 8, and x minus y is equal to 1. Okay. Now there are two ways to solve this. First, we're going to do the elimination method. The way we do this is by adding both equations such that one of the variables are eliminated. So we're going to add vertically 2x plus x is 3x. Y and negative y cancel out, and 8 plus 1 is now 9. Okay, so you notice that we're left with just solving for x. Now we're going to divide both sides by 3, and x is now equal to 3. Now that we have x is equal to 3, we're going to plug that in to one of the two equations up there. So I'm going to choose to plug the 3 into this equation, and we're going to have 2 times 3 plus y is equal to 8. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus y is equal to 8. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. Y is now equal to 2. Okay, so now we have the answers for x, which is 3, and y is equal to 2. Now, to double check, we're going to plug both of those values into the second equation. You could do it to either one, but I'm going to choose the second one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the second equation, I'm going to rewrite it here and ask myself, does 3 minus 2 equal to 1? And the answer is yes. Okay, so now we know that x is equal to 3 and y equals to 2, and that answer satisfies both of those equations. Now there's a second way to do this, and it's called the substitution method. So I'm going to rewrite this again, both of the equations. Okay, now we're going to rewrite this equation so that we have one variable on one side of the equation and everything else on the other side. Okay, so we're going to write x is equal to 1 plus, we're going to move the negative y, or we're going to add y to both sides. And now we have y on the right side of the equation. Okay, I'm going to pause there for just a second or two so you can see what I did there. Okay, so now that we know what x is, right, we know what x is, we also know what x is, it's also 1 plus y, we're going to plug that into this equation. So it's going to look like this. 2 times, instead of writing x, we're going to write what x is equal to, which is 1 plus y. Okay, plus y is equal to 8. So all we did was we substituted this value right here, and we threw it in here, and we substitute that expression for x. Okay, so if we were to solve for y, we're going to distribute here. 2 plus 2y plus y is equal to 8. We're going to add the y's together, and we get 3y. And we're going to subtract both sides by 2, so that 3y is now equal to 6. Once we have that, we can solve for y by dividing both sides by 3, and y is now equal to 2. Okay, So that's one of our answers. As you can see, it matches the first method, but let's assume we didn't do the first method and we're just using the substitution method. We're going to take the value of y and plug that back into one of the two equations. Okay, so let's take the first equation and say 2x plus 2 for y equals 8. If we solve for x, 2x is equal to 6 because we subtract both sides by 2. Now we divide both sides by 2, and we get x is equal to 3. Okay, so that's our x. And then as usual, we need to double check. So the question is, let's take this equation, the second equation, and ask ourselves, does x minus y equal to 1? So I'm going to plug those values back in and say, does 3 minus 2 equal to 1? And the answer is yes. Okay, so now you have two different ways of solving for two variables. Whichever way you want to choose is fine, depending on the nature of the equation that you're given. One method may be easier than the other. So hopefully both methods are clear to you. If you have any questions, please enter them in the comments and I will respond to you as soon as I can. Thank you.